May I request Rona to lead the prayer? Alright, thank you so much. Please go back to your proper seat so I can check your attendance. Alright, class, great job. No one is absent today. Alright, so before we'll be starting our class, let me just remind you of the few things that we need for us to learn. Right. So tell me, what is this picture about? Alright. No talking unless you are home. Next. Right. Keep your mobile phones on silent or turn it off. Next. Right. Respect each other and respect your teachers. Are we good with that? Great. Alright. So, I know you are sleepy, so let us loosen up a bit with this energizer. Let's play. The boat is sinking. Are you ready? Great. So, the boat is sinking. Group yourselves into 3 raised to the power of 2. Great. No one is drowned. That is so great to hear. Alright, so that will be your permanent group for today's class. Alright, you may now take your seats together with your group. But before we proceed, let us remember what we have discussed yesterday. So may I call Angela to read and answer question number 1. Very good. How about question number 2, Shane? It's great to hear that we are all refreshed what we have discussed yesterday. And with that, let me share to you our objective. So everyone, please internalize and read this one in chorus. Okay. What is that? At the end of the lesson, I can identify the fallacy in an argument. Before that, let us watch the video.
Sa kapitbahay kong mahilig magkaraoke. Di tayo close pero nagingitian tayo. Sintonado ka. Mali-mali pa lyrics mo kahit na nakasulat na. Every Saturday night, may concert ka. Ako naman, may migraine. Ops lang, tinitiis ko boses mo. Ni minsan, hindi kita pinabarangay. Ngayong Pasko na, pa-cheeseburger ka naman.
Angela, what are the arguments that you can see in the video? Yes, the first argument is the speaker, or he is annoyed with his kapitbahay. Shane, what is the second argument? Correct. The second argument is he wants a cheeseburger. Right? So, what have you observed with 2 arguments present? Okay. Since the speaker wants to have a cheeseburger, he chose to use the excuse that maingay ang kapitbahay, so the kapitbahay should buy him a cheeseburger. If you analyze the arguments, are they connected? They are somehow connected. But what have you observed about the reasoning? Right. Somewhat, the reasoning does not follow. So that is what we call fallacy. So what is fallacy in logic or in our subject? So, as you can see here, fallacy in logic is an erroneous reasoning that has an appearance of soundness. So what do you mean by that? So that means that somehow the reasoning is good, or at the first glance, it is reasonable. But if you will come to really analyze it, it's erroneous or it's faulty. What else? Please read. Thank you so much. So you say some fallacies may be intentional. So when we say intentional, the speaker is purposely telling you that in order for you to be convinced of his or her argument. Do you think fallacy is good? At some point, yes. Some point, no. But do you know that we are living with fallacies? Yes, the advertisements we are hearing every day. Even the reasoning that our friends are telling us, sometimes it is fallacy. So now, I will be giving you examples of the most common fallacy that we are encountering every day. Alright, So now you know me, I'm always giving you activities. So I have here your activity sheets. And you are in your groups, right? Okay. Leaders, please come in front. Oh, before that, by the way, I will just give you general instructions of what we'll be doing with the activities, okay? So I have here pictures, and I have here the arguments written, and the kind of fallacy that the argument shows. So you have to analyze our examples, and then what will you do is you have to explain to us or to the class, or you have to explain or describe what fallacy or the meaning of the fallacy that is assigned to you. And you have to present to the class creatively. And so what I mean by creative, don't just do the plain reporting. Because, you know me, the rubrics are content, 50%, that is the correctness of your analysis of our fallacy, and the presentation, how creative you are in the presentation, that is also 50%. Are we good with that? Great. So leaders, please come in front. Alright, so I'll be giving you 5 minutes to do the activity and present it afterwards. For the presentation, you only have 1 to 2 minutes, okay? Great. Alright, timer starts now. Time is up, everyone. Are you ready to present your output to the class? Okay. So, therefore, let me have the group 1 to present their output first. Followed by group 2. Alright, group 3. Thank you. Group 4. Great job, everyone. All of you did or got the correct explanation to what fallacy is. But, of course, I will be adding more to your explanation. But before that, let's give a round of applause to ourselves for doing a great job today. Alright, so let us now go to the meat of our discussion. So I will be giving you additional examples of what the fallacies that your classmates introduced or discussed earlier. So the first one is the non sequitur. Group 1 is actually correct. When we say non sequitur, what does it mean? Actually, this is from a Latin word. Okay, non sequitur. It's a Latin word which literally means, what is that? It does not follow. Okay, your classmates already did a good explanation about the pictures. I will just be giving you additional examples on the fallacy. Okay? So here, the first argument, I got into a car accident on a rainy day. No one should drive in the rain. So why is it non sequitur? Yes, Shane. Correct. It does not follow, it does not always follow that if you got a car accident on a rainy day, everybody else should not drive in the rain, right? Is that correct? Because it might be that that is just a circumstance. Are we clear with that? Next. It's time to take my car in for service. I wonder if my stylist is available that Saturday. So these are the statements. So as you can see here, they might be related. Because at some point, the speaker wants a time to relax while the car is in service. But if you will examine it, the first statement does not follow the second one. Right? Okay. So that is, once again, ladies and gentlemen, those are examples of non-sequitur. Non-sequitur means it does not follow. The second type of fallacy, this was discussed by group 2, is the ad hominem. So they have already discussed these pictures. I will just add more to it. So they are correct. Ad hominem means attacking a person instead of the argument. Okay? So instead of addressing someone's argument or proposition, what will you do? You irrelevantly attack the person or some aspect of the person who is making an argument. So it does not only pertain to one person, but it can be to some groups. Please read and tell me, why is it ad hominem? Ronnie? Correct. Because the speaker judges Lilia instead of the real issue, which is everyone's opinion should count about morality. Any other questions about ad hominem? And what is the difference between a plain insult and an ad hominem? So I have here two statements. Miss Nadella, please read and discuss what is your opinion about these statements. And also tell me which one is an insult and which one is not. Right, very good. You are correct. The first one is ad hominem. The second one is correct. Second one is insult. Why? Because when we say ad hominem, there has to be an argument. But that is correct. When we say insult, that is just a plain direct statement of you criticizing the person. Any questions about ad hominem? None? Great. So now let us proceed to our next fallacy. This was reported by Group 3. And they said, let me sum it up. They said that when we say appeal to pity, that is touching our hearts. And they're actually correct. When we say appeal to pity, that is also called ad misericordiam. So when we say ad misericordiam, what is that? Correct. The argument attempts to persuade by provoking irrelevant feelings of sympathy. Sometimes we are so into our feelings, and because of that, we misjudge the situation. What else? This fallacy is able to masquerade. This is really, what do you call that? Alarming. It is able to masquerade as good reasoning precisely because in most cases, considerations of a human suffering are very relevant issue at hand. So, another example here. This is when you are an attorney and you're trying to defend the client. Okay? So you should not find the defendant guilty of murder. Why? It would break his poor mother's heart to see him in jail. Okay. So is this correct? So if you are the judge and you are attacked emotionally, and you can see that the mother is really sick and the mother is really heartbroken, so would your decision be affected by those? Should not, but somehow it is effective. Sometimes we forgot sound judgment and let our feelings overtake everything. You should really be aware of that. Okay? So not just decide by your heart. Next fallacy, this is reported by Group 4. This is a red herring. They're correct. When we say red herring, that they try to divert our attention to something else. And they are actually correct. So please read, Angela. Correct. So take note of this, guys. Diverting attention from the real issue. How? By focusing instead on an issue having only a surface relevance to the person. When we say a surface relevance, they are just slightly connected. Slightly or surface relevance to another. Okay, so here are the examples. Let us examine, okay? So the daughter said, I'm so hurt that Todd broke up with me. What is the answer of the mother? Just think of the starving children in Africa, honey. Your problems will seem petty, pretty, insignificant. Okay, so what are the, why is it red herring? Yes, Shane. Okay, because the real issue is that the daughter is heartbroken. That somehow the mother is trying to console her daughter by what? Letting her see a bigger problem than her. Saying that they're all starving children and you have your heart broken. So, what? Correct. The mother is telling her that her problem is nothing compared to the starving children. But that's not the real issue. So that is why it is called the red herring. I will be showing you a video and tell me what fallacy is present in the video.
Sa kapitbahay kong mahilig magkaraoke. Di tayo close pero nagingitian tayo. Sintonado ka. Mali-mali pa lyrics mo kahit na nakasulat na. Every Saturday night, may concert ka. Ako naman, may migraine. Oks lang, tinitiis ko boses mo. Ni minsan, hindi kita pinabarangay. Ngayong Pasko na, pa-cheeseburger ka naman.
Okay, so that was the example earlier. You notice that there is a fallacy, but what fallacy is that? Yes, Roger. Correct. That is non-sequitur. So the argument of having being annoyed to the kapitbahay does not follow. Correct. Does not follow that the kapitbahay should buy him a cheeseburger. That is non-sequitur.
Hanggang saan naaabot ang 20 pesos mo?
Pabili nga pong DVD.
Tumika sa kalendaryo, Diaz! May araw ka rin! Bushing! The end. 20 pesos pa ka mo. Mag New Cornetto Choco Java ka na lang. Creamy ice cream made with Belgian cocoa and a kiss of coffee. Chocolate toppings. Chocolate dip. New Selecta Cornetto Choco Java. Sarap lang to.
Okay. What fallacy is that? Don't tell me when I eat cornetto. Not just yet. What fallacy is that? Correct. That is red herring. So, the cornetto is trying to divert your attention to buying cornetto because the 20 pesos is not enough to buy a good DVD. And somewhat, we don't notice it, but we tend to buy more cornetto, right? So, these fallacies are really effective in ad campaign and political debates, or else in you trying to persuade your friends and in every day that we are dealing with each other. Okay. So, do you have an example of fallacy? Your personal example of fallacy that you are encountering every day? Yes, Jella. Very good, that's one. Next, Mark. Okay, that's correct. Any questions about fallacies, guys? Although there's this or just the top 4 fallacies that we have discussed, there are a lot, like 100. But these are the most common. Any questions? And very good. Okay, so this is really is it. Please get your activity notebooks and you will be having a short quiz. So I will be presenting to you with the arguments and tell me what fallacy is it. Right? So I'll be giving you 10 minutes to answer this. No, just 5 minutes to answer this. 5 minutes is up. Check your own activity notebook, everyone. Okay. The first one, what fallacy? Correct. Non-sequitur. The second one, what fallacy is that? Correct. That's the built to PT. Next. Correct. That's red herring. And the next one is ad hominem. Who got perfect scores? Alright, great job. And of course, those of you who are perfect, you should coach your classmates because after all, sharing is caring. Very good. Alright, so that's all for today. By the way, these are more references. If you wanna ask questions, feel free to approach me at the faculty room. Goodbye, class!